July 7th, and today's reading from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo is titled Patience. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These are your greatest treasures. Patience with both friends and enemies. You accord with the way things are. Lao-Tzu. Patience is the second of Lao-Tzu's central teachings, and it is a hard bit of wisdom to accept, for the place of waiting is always trying and very difficult to live without. Yet, quite honestly, it is waiting that saved my life. Clearly, the most demanding and rewarding practice I have encountered. Had I not withstood the confusion and indecision and ambiguity and the pain and alarm of imagining the worst during the endless diagnostic gauntlet, I would never have made it to the right course of treatment of cancer. Had I not waited, which is different than avoiding what needs to be done, I would not be able to write these words for you. For I would have undergone unnecessary procedures that would have severed me from my memory and my ability to speak. Fear wants us to act too soon. But patience, hard as it is, helps us outlast our preconceptions. This is how tired soldiers, all out of ammo, can discover through their inescapable waiting that they have no reason to hurt each other. It is the same with tired lovers and with hurtful and tiresome friends. Given enough time, most of our enemies cease to be enemies, because waiting allows us to see ourselves in them. Patience devastates us with the truth that, in essence, when we fear another, we fear ourselves. When we distrust another, we distrust ourselves. When we hurt another, we hurt ourselves. When we kill another, we kill ourselves. So when hurt or afraid or confused, when feeling urgent to find your place on this earth, hard as it is, wait. And things as you fear them will, more often than not, shrink into the hard, irreplaceable beauty of things as they are, of which you have no choice but to be a part. And the meditation activities are: sit quietly and bring to mind a situation, now resolved, that required you to be more patient than you were prepared to be. If you can, recall how you viewed the situation and the people involved. When it first presented itself, when your patience ran out, when the situation resolved itself. How did waiting change you? What, if anything, did waiting give you? You pray for patience and you get a great reason to to practice it. And this is certainly not the easiest thing to practice, especially in the world that we live in. The world that we live in, which is very busy. And I think that for me, in hearing about his waffling of what is going on with his cancer and how he made certain decisions and didn't make certain decisions and how he processed through that situation and where he healed. This is Mark Nepo. It's very helpful for me when reading this. Fear wants us to act too soon. Yeah, fear wants me to react, because when I react, I end up in more fear, because I make a decision that is usually based on fear instead of based on some clarity. And usually for me, getting away from the situation and getting some time and some clarity is really when I understand a lot more. Is it that important? I remember when I was getting my lifeguard. I was doing my lifeguard test, and I was a nervous wreck for some reason. I don't know why. I was a swimmer. There was no reason I wouldn't have passed the test, and I was freaking out. And I remember this guy, and he was already a lifeguard, and he was in there in the uh, waiting area with me. Excuse me. And he said, "Vicky, sometimes you just gotta say what the fuck, and just let things happen." And I just couldn't even comprehend that. I couldn't even comprehend that. And it's funny because it says, when feeling urgent to find your place on this earth, hard as it is, wait. And recently I've been doing a lot of waiting. And it is hard. Ugh, it's not easy. But it seems when I do, when I sleep on things, when I give some time, when I get some distance, it seems that then the right answers, or not even the answers from within, from that small voice within, not the loud, hurried, impatient voice, but the calm voice. It seems like that's where all the good comes from. So I'm going to practice it. I'm not going to say I like practicing patience, but I am going to work on it and continue to try to make it a practice in my life. So I hope you are well. I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July weekend if you're from the States, and if you're not, I hope you enjoyed your weekend anyways. Be safe, be kind to yourself and others, and namaste.